Alright guys, what is up? This is HD, and welcome to the new year, 2012, and as I said before, I will be casting more Starcraft Brood War games. Almost said Starcraft 2 right there. For all of you guys out there who haven't seen Starcraft Brood War before, and for those of you guys who remember the good old days, so here I am, and I'm going to be casting 2 more, at least for today, and it is currently January 1st, although by the time this video comes up, it will probably already be January 2nd. So, Happy New Year's everybody, thanks all for tuning in, and it's time for one of the most highly anticipated games that I have ever received. This is Jaedong versus Flash, and I'm extra excited about this because you guys all know my favorite player is Jaedong. I'm going to try not to play any favoritism here, but you guys know my favorite player is Jaedong. Flash is considered to be, well, the Bondra, the current Bondra right now of the world. And Jaedong would be considered, I guess, runner-up for number 2, or basically his sidekick, if you want to call it that way. Both these guys are basically the 2 best players in Brood War today. And as I said this many times before, if they ever decided to make the switch over to StarCraft 2, the house would go down. So, and I'm really excited to bring you guys this. I read a comment on a previous video and somebody said, HD, if you're going to cast Brood War games, please cast a game between Jaedong and Flash. You always talk about Jaedong and Flash and the epic battles they had from, oh gosh, I don't know, 2007 onwards in the OSLs, the MSLs, and that's why I'm so proud and so happy to be able to bring you guys this broadcast. This is going to be a game between Jaedong and Flash. Alright, so I've said all I can say about that. Hope you guys are stoked up as much as I am, and it's time to go ahead and get this game underway. Now the map looks like it'll be Tau Cross again, so the nice thing here is if you guys caught my first game between Bisu and gosh, I already forgot who Bisu was playing. Stork, there we go, King of Silver. Easy to forget the second place winner. Bisu and Stork, then you guys should be familiar with this map already. Tau Cross, you guys already saw a game on it, so hopefully that should be good for you guys, and I won't have to explain it too much, as Jaedong here is going right away for a hatchery, and that's pretty common. Just like in today's StarCraft 2, you're going to see Zerg players get that hatchery down, but it won't be a 15 hatch, it'll be something like a 12 hatch. That was the predominant build back a couple years ago, and I believe it's still the predominant build today. So Jaedong here, the Zerg player, obviously, I don't know if I clarified that for you guys, Jaedong is the Zerg. He is the best Zerg in the world right now, and Flash, of course, the brown Terran at the top left, is the best Terran in the world, and many consider to be the best player in the world right now. Just an absolute monster. And the funny thing about Flash is he started playing, oh gosh, I don't know, around 13 or 14 years old, and at first he was a cheesy ass bastard. I'm just gonna say it straight up, he was a cheesy bastard, and he would cheese the crap out of people, but he did it right. And for a while, people were like, well, this guy is just a Flash. He, like his name is, a Flash. He's gonna come and he's gonna go. He's not gonna be a real name. And then Flash started to play macro, and then stuff really started to go down. People could not hang with him, and, well, now you have this, I think, 16, 17-year-old phenom. I think he's 17 or maybe 18 pretty soon, who is just tearing it up in the Pro League, in OSL, in the MSL. Whatever you want, you name it, you can have it. And that's Flash's kind of claim to fame. Jaedong has been around for a couple of years. He really rose to dominance around the same time Flash did, actually, but never really started with the cheese. Just really known for his perfect, almost impeccable ZVZ. He has the best ZVZ in the world. In fact, Mr. Lee Jaedong, the Tyrant Killer, has a win rate of 70%, 73% in ZVZ. Of course, that doesn't really matter here because he is playing against a Terran. His versus Terran win rate is 63%, his weakest matchup. And Flash, Mr. Lee Young-ho, he actually has, believe it or not, guys, 70% win rate across the board, and his best win rate is 75 in TVT. So Flash is a beast. And I have seen so many games between these two guys before, but I have never seen this replay. So this was actually played, I believe last year or late last year, early this year. So it's fairly recent, and I think it's going to be a pretty good game to cast here. So let's go ahead and get right into it then. SCV just went down to those 4 Zerglings. We finally had Jaedong tracking that down and killing it. You will see players micro a lot. those early scouting units, and it is kind of difficult to get those Zerglings to kill that worker. You're going to see a little bit of juke action between the two guys for quite some time until that SCV goes down. And it looks like Flash here going for +1 weapons right away as well. Jaedong getting all of his gases going, getting layer up on the natural. And what Jaedong really does well, guys, is go right into mutas. He is a boss with mutalist. Off of 2 base, he will get a bunch of mutas, and then you're going to be in a lot of trouble. He is extremely good with the muta micro, and if you guys have never seen BROODWAR muta micro, it's a little bit different than StarCraft 2. And I think StarCraft 2, they try to emulate it, but for whatever reason, the physics engine couldn't exactly copy the muta micro of BROODWAR. And BROODWAR, and Jelizerg is actually the one who pioneered this, you can stack all your mutalisks into one mutalisk, essentially. It looks like one mutalisk, and by doing so, of course, it makes it very difficult to be attacked, and you can basically one-snipe any unit you want once you have enough mutalisks. So it's an extremely powerful version of muta micro. It's like muta micro from StarCraft 2 on steroids. I'm sure you guys will see in a moment here, because Jaedong just finished his lair, and it would not surprise me to see him go right into Spire. That's what he does best. Right now, actually trying to hit that front door. Nice wall by Flash, though. Little marine wall with the supply depot and the bunker. Let's check to see right now. For now, it doesn't look like he has a Spire quite yet. The Zergling's running into the front door. Just going to back out for now, and Jaedong just going to be content to hold the map control, and this is what Zerg players can do against Terran in the early all the way to the mid game. Terrans are not a threat until they have that bulk of Marines, just like in StarCraft 2, but a key difference here, guys, is in StarCraft Brood War, Terran players are only gonna go bio most of the time, and it's a build called SK Terran. There is a Spire on the way, by the way, guys, and Jaedong is saving up quite a bit of minerals and gas, but most Terrans, through years and years of playing Brood War, have found out the most cost-effective way and the most popular way to play against Zerg is to go for this build called the SK Terran, named after a guy called Soulkey, who popularized it. And it's essentially all Marines and medics, not medevacs, guys. The medics here don't get their medevac ships yet. But oh, it looks like Jaedong gonna run in with some Zerglings here, so hold that thought. Jaedong getting a pretty good sneak by. He's gonna get a full scout off, and look at this, so smart. Going after the missile turrets because he knows his 10 or so mutalisks are about to pop out, and any turret he gets here is gonna open up that window of opportunity for his mutalisks to fly in and do a lot more damage. So good work for right here from Jaedong. But as I was saying before, what Flash is going to most likely use here, I already see the build kind of coming into fruition, is mass Marines, mass medevacs, and mass science vessels. It's an extremely potent build, but it requires top-notch APM. Most people would consider it to be the most highest APM demanding build order to use, and looks like Jaedong here showing his Mutalisk micro, and there you guys can see the mutas stacking on basically one Mutalisk. You can't do that in StarCraft 2 nearly as easily, and look at how easily Jaedong is just picking apart the economy. Very good micro, runs in a couple of Zerglings as well, but Jaedong taking some serious damage. Is he going to lose any Mutalisks? He will lose one, and so considering how much damage that entire pack took, only losing one is actually pretty good, and I think he just killed off an SCV in the natural as well, so well done. And of course, expanding while harassing, good work coming from Jaedong, and he's just kind of trying to keep the Terran player at bay for now as he makes the switch over to Hydralisks. And you guys might be scratching your head right now, whoa, Hydras, what's going on? No, of course, the Zerg player is going to go for Lurkers here. You guys can see him researching that on the Hydralisk den right now, and Lurkers obviously very good against Bio. Jaedong's got to be careful here, though. Doesn't want to lose any more mutas. He's been a little careless. He's lost 2 or 3 so far and hasn't been able to do that much damage as of yet. And here we have Flash now beginning to move out. He feels more comfortable. He has an army that he can move out with and withstand attacks with, and he can defend with the missile turrets that he has at home. And, you know, he's just got such great game sense right now, realizing that, hey, Jaedong's a Zerg player. He's got to have a 3rd expansion somewhere, just like in StarCraft 2 today. And the most likely location, hey, maybe it's a ninja hatchery over at the top right-hand corner. And that's where Jaedong does have his hatchery right now. So Flash is trying to make that move right now to attack that 3rd. Jaedong preparing his units to try to hold off this attack. Meanwhile, back in Flash's main, everything looking quite fine and dandy. Plenty of turrets, no threat of an attack there. Jaedong just trying to buy time right now, it looks like. And Flash is going to pursue here. Now, the thing here is, as a Terran player, if you're going to pursue a Zerg when they have Lurkers, you really got to wait for your Science Vessel support. Otherwise, you're going to have to use your Comsats to catch the Lurkers and to kill off the Lurkers, essentially. And of course, you don't have unlimited Comsats. You get them over time, but you can't just use them unlimitedly as of right now. So Flash is gonna have to be very careful about this attack until he can get some Science Vessel support out, and I would imagine he's just gonna hold down the front of the Zerg natural and try to contain Jaedong. And what Jaedong's whole game sense or game theory is right now is to buy time for Hive. You guys can see he's getting the Hive on the natural, he's waiting for Hive tech, and when he gets those defilers out, that's when the entire game is going to change. And you know, defilers, I really don't, God, another going down there. I really don't know what unit you could associate a defiler with from StarCraft 2. I guess the closest cousin to the defiler would be the Infestor. We can see some Mutalisks coming in here once again, picking off a couple Marines, but not getting as cost effective as Jaedong. But anyways, the defiler, just a quintessential unit for Zerg in the late game against Terran. And the funny story here is a long time ago, people didn't know how to play against Terrans as Zergs. It was just so hard to fight off Terran forces. And then Savior came along and said, hey, this is a Defiler and this is how you use it. And the Defiler has two spells that are so good against the Bio Ball, the Dark Swarm and the Plague. And the Dark Swarm is essentially a spell that makes it so that anything under the cloud, the Dark Swarm, is invincible as long as it's a missile attack. And unfortunately for Terrans, everything that they have, almost everything they have, is a missile attack. So the Zerg obviously have a very fun time under the orange cloud known as the Dark Swarm. The Terrans, they don't have a very fun time at all. So it looks like Jaedong has been able to buy the time that he's needed to buy to get Defilers out. His Defilers are on the way right now. I also love how he's sending these Mutalisks in just to pick off the reinforcements, pulling the Bio Army back, and of course, just all in all, buying more time and waiting for his ultimate Hive unit to come out. But damn, that army from Flash is really, really big. Oh, nice split right there from Flash. Flash has got to be careful. He ran into some lurkers. But of course, with the good reaction timing of the Bonjour that Flash is, he's able to pull those Marines away and keep them out of the line of fire from that lurker. And there's the Consume upgrade coming on the Defiler mound, and that Consume is going to allow Defilers to eat their own Zerg units, digest their own Zerg units for energy, and you really need that before you can even use any of their spells, because their spells are so energy intensive. It looks like Jaedong's got some lurkers out here in the middle of the map. He may be looking to catch up some reinforcements, but here comes the first Science Vessel for this build. Can detect the lurkers now, and immediately Flash sieges up, moves in, stims everything up, but his reinforcements are getting caught in the middle of the field by those three lurkers. He just lost a tank and a Marine. That is not good. Your entire reinforcing line is now under attack, and he has no way to get supplies from back home. He's got to find a way to deal with that. Now that Science Vessel has irradiated the Defiler, and you will see this happen in late game Zerg vs. Terran. The Science Vessels are going to start to use all their irradiates on Defilers, but the Defiler gets a Dark Swarm off before it dies from the irradiate, and now everything under that orange cloud is Zerg happy play fun time, and nothing that Terran has really likes that. So it looks like Flash is going to pull back into more lurkers, and that is not good. He just lost three more Marines, and that clump of meat is still flying around the map as Jaedong looks to secure his fourth hatchery. So well done by Jaedong, buying time for the Hive. And you guys see a lot of late game mechanics playing out here. Not only is the Dark Swarm coming out that I already explained, but also the Irradiate from the Science Vessel. This is why Science Vessels in the Soul Key Terran build are so important, because it's a spell that kills off any bio unit that it hits. And what is Jaedong doing here? Speaking of killing off units, he's losing all of his lurkers. He's got to pay attention. He finally burrows his lurkers, but I think he lost like 4 or 5 right there. So giving Flash a free present for New Year's, I guess, a belated Christmas gift, and now he's got a Dark Storm up, and as he burrows the lurkers underneath, and that is going to be impenetrable. There's nothing that Flash has except for Irradiate that can kill off those lurkers, so he's going to have to pull away, but he's pulling away into more Zerglings. So Flash here playing with the food in the middle of the map, trying to find the perfect opportunity to flank and kill off everything, and it looks like now he's going to fall back to defend that 4th hatchery, which he is now grabbing. So a bit of a lull for now, but that Irradiate, guys, so important, because not only does it do damage to the unit it's on, but also units around it that are considered biological as well. And the Science Vessels are going to be the backbone of the Soul Key Terran build. The more Science Vessels that Flash has out, the more dangerous it becomes. And you guys can see now he's irradiating the burrowed lurkers, and the burrowed lurkers, even that Defiler dies to the Irradiate. The burrowed lurkers are losing HP, and if you're a Zerg player and your Defiler gets irradiated, you might as well use it before it dies, and that's what a lot of Zergs will do. They'll start to just spit out spells before it dies. And oh my god, look at that bio army just getting shredded and mauled to pieces as the lurker spines poke up from under the ground into those marine and medics' butts. And that cannot be a pleasant feeling. Now, Flash here is using the terrain quite well. I love how he's sieging up that high ground location, and the important thing here is Vespene gas is the limiting factor for Zerg in this matchup. Gas is so important for Zerg, and Jaedong's extractor now is under attack. If he loses his gas, he's going to only be down to 3 gas. It looks like he's sending these Mutalisks in. Can he pick off the tank? He's got to go for the Marines first, and it looks like the Science Vessels come in, irradiate the Muta Club, but Jaedong pulls the irradiated Mutalisk away to save the rest of his Mutas. Also try to slam those Scourge into the Science Vessel, but it didn't work, and Flash just had way too many reinforcements there, ready and waiting, anticipating that Muta Clump from coming in, and he was able to intercept that quite well, and it looks like he's not only going to cancel that hatchery, but also kill off that extractor to the north of that 4th base. So Flash is doing an incredible job now of realizing that he's got to pick off all these gases to keep that Zerg gas count down, and look at this, Jaedong getting pretty lucky here, no control from Flash, ends up killing about 10 or so Marines. Unfortunately, right there for Flash, he can't allow himself to lose those Marine patrols around the map, because this is what Flash does best, guys. He will attack multiple locations at once, and he's going to hope to draw your army on one side so you can open a vulnerability on another side of the map. And look at this, guys, Flash gets an entire Marine patrol on the left side plagued, and the plague diminishes everything to 1 HP, allowing the Zerglings to one-shot it. So beautiful play right there from Jaedong, and Jaedong kills off some more Marines. Flash comes in, and here comes the Scourge. So many Scourge, they're all cloned on those Science Vessels, but only one vessel goes down there. There is Marine cover, and that's the thing, a good Terran player will control those vessels and just float them away. Float them back, juke the Scourge, and fly them over your Marines, and exactly that's what Flash does to keep his very, very gas-intensive vessels alive. And as long as those vessels remain alive, they will continue to spit out this toxic green cloud of gas, and it's going to kill everything that Jaedong has, although Jaedong may have too many lurkers here, and he will finally regain control on the left side of the map. And here comes some more Scourge, here comes some more Scourge, 2 Scourge, 4 Scourge, he kills off 2 more vessels, and add on 4 more Scourge to that, so he's going to kill off almost all the vessels of Flash. And that is so important, killing off vessels in this build, in this playstyle of StarCraft is absolutely essential. The vessels are the backbone of the Soul Key Terran build. There's another play going down on that army at the ledge, so that is going to be very, very diminished. One Mutalisk could actually fly in there and kill off everything, and now here comes Flash. He really wants to kill off this 4th hatchery. He stiffed up everything. The Defiler consumes its Zergling siblings, and now it spits out a plague with that extra energy, but it is not enough. It only catches the Marine pack at the south, and there's too many forces, but the vessels, meanwhile, under attack, and it looks like Jaedong, at the very least, if he loses his hatchery, at least he kills off all the Science Vessels in the middle of the map, and he's gonna pick off this ragtag Marine medic army as well. There you go. So spit out some more nutrients into that creep for a new hatchery to be born someday. But Flash, man, he's got to be happy with killing off that hatchery. Like I said, guys, every gas in Zerg versus Terran is so important, especially for Zerg. Consider the units that a Zerg creates. Oh man, all these Marines are going to eat it. Consider the units that every Zerg makes. Ultras, which are on the way right now, guys. Defilers, Mutas, Scourge, and Lurkers. Everything is so gas intensive, and that 4th gas is so important for Jaedong to have right now. Now, he has the Extractor alive, but he doesn't have a hatchery there to mine from. So he really needs to get his butt in gear and start getting some gas going, otherwise he's going to fall behind in this game. Likewise, Flash, all he's got to do is stay on 3 bases, maybe grab a 4th mineral only, and continue to mine those minerals, because minerals equal Marines, and Marines equal death for Zerg. We can see right now a Dark Swarm going down for Jaedong. Looks like he's trying to control the southern area here. Not quite sure what he's trying to do, but there's a plague on all these units, so the Mutas can come in and one-shot almost everything, although those medics look like have healed those Marines back up to full health and duty. But there's one thing that you might see in the late game is after a couple of plagues, you might see a Zerg player like Jaedong build 1 Mutalisk, fly in and pick off a horde of units with the Glaive Worm. Because if everything's at 1 HP, well, the Glaive Worm's going to ricochet and kill off everything. And here's another mechanic you'll see, the Fire Bats coming into play. In the late game, yeah, Fire Bats aren't what are these 2 Scourge doing? They're parked here. Jaedong has the Scourge on hold position. He couldn't kill the free vessel, but the Fire Bats may not be that effective against Zerg, except for Zerglings, but in the late game, if you're fighting under the Dark Swarm, every missile attack is negated to 0 damage, so you've got to have a melee attack, and the Fire Bat is really the only melee unit that you've got. So you're going to make them anyways, and that's what we see here. The Science Vessel is getting an Irradiate on the Defiler after the Defiler returns its fair share with the Plague back over to the vessels, and now we have Lurkers dying from the Irradiate underground. Oh man, so many Lurkers going down, and here we go! Here we go! Jaedong's got the Ultralisks out. He's got the final piece of the Zerg puzzle put together, and the Ultras are mawing their way through this Marine Medic army, and this is going to be problems for Flash. Flash is going to have to pull back. He just lost another vessel. Now he's going to have to start to expend his energy on those vessels. Oh, nice control there, keeping that vessel alive, but he ends up losing it anyways. He's going to have to start expending his Irradiates on these Ultralisks. He's going to have to share it with the Ultras and the Defilers because Ultras are so buff. In StarCraft Brood War, you really need to whittle down that HP with a couple of Irradiates, and it actually has, it's like a double-edged sword because the Irradiate, remember guys, it does damage to your own units, so it's gonna kill off Zerglings and other Ultras it's nearby, but it's if the Ultras are in your Marine army, that Irradiate's gonna end up killing your Marines too. But, you know, as a Terran player, you take the lesser of two evils, and that's kind of the theme for this matchup now. We have more Irradiates coming down. Looks like it smacked the Defiler right on the dome, and it is Irradiated. Scourge coming in here, unable to hit the vessels, but another Dark Swarm comes up, really allowing this Ultra to be impenetrable under the Swarm, but it's actually leaving its hometown now, and it ends up dying before it can get under the protection of the Orange Cloud. It looks like Jaedong right now is trying to cut a pathway, it looks like, over to the top right-hand corner, and by doing that, not only can he have access to that expansion up there, which I believe is a mineral only, but he also cuts off these Marines and tanks on that ledge overlooking that gas. So he's really looking to invest a lot into this attack here, but that Defiler running out of energy, it's the last one. It ended up consuming the Lurker, and what's he going to do with this new energy? He launches another Swarm, and yes, that is a mineral only up there at the 4th. So he has one Swarm up there, but the rest of the Swarms have just dissipated. So I don't think Jaedong is really going to have any more avenues to attack up that little corridor. And because of that, now Flash can reestablish control over the 4th and the Zerg 4th. He's going to be able to reinforce that ledge and do a lot of damage. And here we have more vessels coming in. A couple of Scourge going to slam into the vessels, but not before they spit out so much green toxic gas. And those Ultras, if they stand next to each other, they're going to end up doing triple the amount of damage that they need to do, and that Marine is going to KS everything. Those Ultras need to get out of there and spread apart. I don't know what Jaedong is really doing right now, and it looks like right now Flash is making an attack over to the 4th, or the 5th, excuse me, and he hits the Nidus Canal first. That is so smart. No more reinforcements, and he's got to worry about it, but it looks like Jaedong's got plenty of Zerg ground forces nearby, and he cleans up that Marine army with ease, and he will replace that Nidus Canal that was destroyed earlier to reinforce that defense network. And here comes Flash once again. He's got a massive tank army. I don't know how Flash continues to get all these forces out. The Scourge are training on the vessels. Beautiful control. Sending 2 Scourge per vessel to kill off 3, and he's sending the rest of his Zerg army in here, but that tank line is devastating everything. And there you see a defense matrix going down on the frontal tank, allowing it to absorb additional damage. Well played by Flash, who just killed off the entire Zerg army, and now he's going to have to go ahead to attack into a free hatchery. I think Jaedong just threw everything he had into that tank line, and unfortunately for him, everything was sieged up, and that's not what you want to do as a Zerg player. Despite having Ultras, despite having Cracklings and Lurkers, and without the Swarm, you're not going to be able to break that tank line, and he didn't have any Defilers there. Now, it looks like he does have 2 Defilers in the back. One got irradiated, but not before it could spit out some Dark Swarm, and that Orange Cloud should be enough to help protect this hatchery, although some Marines have made their way down south of the Orange Cloud, and they're starting to destroy the drones. Meanwhile, that tank line on the ledge has killed off that extractor over on the 4th, so now Jaedong is in a lot of trouble, guys. He's losing a lot of his mining. He just lost this hatchery down here in the bottom left. At the very least, he's gonna get that vessel kill, though. If everything goes down, he's gonna take a vessel down with him, and it looks like his side expansion here is under attack once again as well. Now remember, he replaced that Nidus, so if he can scramble and deal with not only the 1-2 punch, but also the reverse 3rd drop kick, then maybe he can handle the situation. But there's 3 different locations being attacked at once right now, and it's so APM taxing for both these players to control their units, the right way. So it looks like Jaedong's just going to sacrifice the hatchery down at the bottom left. I mean, it's already dead anyways. No point sending any additional forces there. Let's try to reestablish control over on the right side of the map. But the problem here is that ledge is so difficult for Zerg to deal with. So Flash is a very, very smart player for, you know, sieging up that ledge, holding that location, and just holding the gas down. He's not even going to poke any further. Rather, just going to be happy with the gas. And man, that tank count for Flash on the left side of the map, so massive. They're all sieged up as well. It looks like Jaedong's moving in, but Flash is going to reinforce that tank line with a lot of reinforcements. So right now, Jaedong has got to strike one piece of the puzzle at a time and not let those two armies conglomerate together. And he does exactly that. A Dark Swarm over all the tanks. Those tanks are done for, and the Zerglings are protected. They're invulnerable. The Ultras are invulnerable. They all run in there and eat the tanks up for breakfast. So well played right there by Jaedong. He continues, speaking of breakfast, that Defiler says, dessert. Get some Zerglings in, and now everybody's like, hop inside the Nidus, guys. We gotta go save our hatchery on the right side of the map. That Defiler spits out a plague, so those vessels will be weakened. And does Jaedong have enough to hold on to this location? He's gotta spit out a swarm. He does spit out a swarm, and immediately Flash has to unsiege. He cannot hope to fight under that orange cloud where all the Zerg units are invincible, and Flash is in a lot of trouble now. Those Ultras are up in the front. They're eating everything apart, and I think Flash is gonna lose his army on the right side of the map. Well played by Jaedong, who just has way too many forces now, but Flash continues to reinforce, and he's once again set up a tank line just a little bit further left, not quite as aggressively, but at the very least he can attack that fourth hatchery, that location where the gas is being sieged up on the ledge. And look at the production out of Flasher. Now you guys have to remember, in Starcraft Brood War, you had to produce units one at a time from every barracks. You were not able to select all the buildings on one hotkey and just hold down a button. You had to individually select every building and produce units. And not only that, for a Zerg player, exponentially difficult because every control group could only hold 12 units at a time. You couldn't control your entire army with one control group. So they're really clicking around right now, and they're spending their fingers quite quickly. Now here we have more swarms coming down. Jaedong moves in with the Zerglings once again. Those cracklings are eating everything apart, and those Dark Swarms really helping them out. Looks like Flash moves out of range of the Dark Swarm, and he's able to kill off the rest of the Zerglings. And now also dropping that bottom left hatchery, which is remorphed, but that hatchery is going to go down. So well done by Flash, who is now starting to use some of the dropships in his playstyle, and that's very smart. It looks like we have some tanks here under attack by that Ultralisk, but thanks to the Marines down below, they might be able to keep the tanks alive. No! That Mutalisk comes in, kills off a vessel with the Glaive Orb. Those vessels were earlier weakened, guys, remember, by that plague. So they're extremely, extremely low on HP, and Jaedong just barely scrapes by a victory on the right-hand side of the map, forcing Flash to fall back and regroup his forces. But you know what? Flash can take that basically as a victory because he was able to kill off the hatchery down at the bottom left, and with that dropship, very likely here that he could go for the main as well if he wanted to. That siege tank still shelling away at that top ledge, totally denying the gas for Jaedong. If you guys look at the resources on the top right, Jaedong has no gas. He's got 1,500 minerals but no gas, and this is why you really need that gas. And oh no, another extractor gonna go down. This is actually the natural where the hive was made, and that extractor going down means Jaedong is gonna be so gas starved. Welcome to the 21st century, Jaedong, where we all need some more gas. So Flash here, like I said before, all he needs is minerals, and he's totally content with the mineral onlys here at the left side of the map. And that's going to allow him to produce more and more Marines, and this Marine count is just going to get so difficult for Jaedong to deal with. And look at this, now Flash looking to set up more tanks over to the right-hand side of the map. He's got a position right here. Jaedong needs to break this position right now. Beautiful Dark Swarm right over all the Marines, forcing Flash to run out of the swarm, but now those Marines are out of the protection of the tanks, and all the tanks are caught unsieged. Jaedong runs his forces in, and all the siege tanks were caught out of position. He ended up killing about 3 or 4 tanks right there. Well done by Jaedong. And now it looks like those 2 Ultras are still alive. They could run into the swarm and stay alive for a very long time. It looks like Jaedong is just going to wait for more reinforcements before engaging, and you guys can see that Defiler in the background continuing to consume its Zerg siblings so that it has enough energy for more swarm. And Jaedong here actually has a Marine party to deal with at that 4th location. He's got to crush that Marine army, and that tank is actually really close on the ledge right now. It's continuing to shell his hatchery. There's a play going down on those Marines, and Defiler was like, Scarface, you want some of this? He launches a plague off and smacks all those Marines off for going after him. So well done there for that Defiler. I think he ended up dying anyways, but whatever. He made his life well worth it and spat some of that red stuff off on those Marines. Now here comes Jaedong attacking from multiple angles. There's a command center coming up here. That command center unlikely here to be in that spot, but it is actually going to help protect these tanks by a little bit. But no, the swarm is there and the Zerglings are starting to swarm around the area. They are going to surround these tanks, and those tanks are going to have to back off. Every single tank is going to get destroyed here by Jaedong, and I think that command center being there, I think what Flash was trying to do was establish a base where Jaedong's fort once was. So I think that's what Flash is trying to do right now. Very risky play, but hey, it almost paid off for him, but unfortunately he wasn't able to hold down to that location. Now it looks like Flash is going to attack through the left side of the map and try to make something happen over here. Jaedong does have forces though this time. Even though he doesn't have a Defiler, I believe he's got enough forces to destroy this Marine army. Yes, he does. And after that, maybe he'll see that mineral only on the left side of the map, because those minerals are really providing Flash ample resources to continue this attack. More Defilers spitting off plagues on those tanks, and those tanks are very weakened right now. And with that Nidus Canal coming right there, I think that Flash should be able to get enough reinforcements out here to deal with those Marines behind his mineral field and maybe finally establish some control on that side. Those tanks, wow, they're all at 1 HP. They could go down to like a single Mutalisk right now, could actually pick off all those tanks. I wonder if Flash is going to send those back for repairs. Looks like Jaedong's not going to allow that to happen, though. He's going to attack once again at this focal point to try to break this location. There is quite a few Dark Swarms up, and he can basically hold position there for a very, very long time. Is he going to get another plague? He will get another plague. So those Marines, man, have been plagued countless times. And Flash has got to get more medics out, I think, to replenish his army. In fact, those tanks are in a very precarious position right now. If those Marines go down, those tanks could all die as well. And it looks like Flash is going to go ahead and once again drop the left-hand side of the map, but those forces originally there, dispatched to deal with any attacks, are still there. And Flash cannot attack that location, but he does have a dropship, so maybe he's going to go for the hive or something. We'll have to see what he decides to do. More tanks sieging up here, and this is just getting down to the wire. I really don't know who's going to win this game, guys. Flash right now has 132 supply. Jaedong's actually at 99 supplies, so he's down by a little bit, but he just finally found out the mineral-only command center, and he's going to herd all these SCVs away. Unfortunately, the Zergling's having a hard time hitting those SCVs as they are pathing out there. So finally, Jaedong finds that mineral only, he shuts it down, and now it looks like Flash is going to send all these SCVs to go repair? I don't know what he's doing with these Oh my god. He's going to take Jaedong's original location. He's going to go land that command center there and start mining at this spot. There's still drones mining over there from the top right-hand side of the map, so this is going to get down to the wire. Things are getting really interesting right now. Jaedong has got to break this tank line, man. He knows that is Flash's only remaining mining base. Meanwhile, Flash, if he can hold on to this location, then he is going to be in a really, really good spot to take the W in this game. Losing those two tanks, so it's not going to help. He lost one. Will he lose the second one? Maybe. He's got Marines here to save the tank, so I think the Marines are going to actually go down. That Ultralisk is just way too strong. 4 armor, 3 weapons, almost nearly maxed out. There's a drone mining inside the mineral field, and actually Flash here pushing down with those tanks into the bottom hatchery below his new command center, and he's looking to kill off this hatchery. If he can kill off this hatch, that would be a huge setback for Jaedong, but Jaedong continues to hold on with continuous Dark Swarms, and like I said before, that Dark Swarm going to force all the tanks to unsiege and back the hell out of there. They just can't hope to fight under that orange cloud. I'm surprised that Jaedong isn't investing into any Spider Mines. Spider Mines can work under the Swarm, and so can Fire Bats. He's not investing into any of that, and as a result, his army is getting crushed here. All those tanks going down so cost-effectively for Jaedong. Just a handful of Zerglings being sent up in there, and they kill off all the tanks, and now those SCVs trying to go back to mine over on the left side of the map, but they meet their makers at the hands of those hungry Zerglings, and now Flash has got to run for it. Looks like Flash is going to go ahead and try to attack behind the mineral field once again, but there's too much orange clouds, too much, and it looks like Jaedong is going to send his forces up once again, gets a plague off. Those Marines are extremely weak. They should all go down, and that Ultra could have a heyday with those 3 tanks, and I think he will. That Ultra is still running amok, and it finally drops to the tank continuous fire. Oh my god, this game is just getting to the nitty-gritty now. I really don't know who's going to win this. It's been back and forth for the last 20 minutes, and neither player really coming out ahead. There's still Marines dispatched to multiple locations overlooking the gases. There's Dark Swarms all over the place for Jaedong, who's desperately trying to hold on to this hatchery. Losing that Defiler there certainly isn't going to help. Now he's not going to have any more Swarm or Plague. And oh no, there's another Marine attack force over to the left, but Jaedong with 2 Ultras there. He should be able to clean that up. Those Marines are not in a good spot. And that SCV, if those Marines couldn't handle it, the SCV certainly won't. And look at this! Jaedong sends some Zerglings over to that new command center. Very smart by Jaedong, and that's going to deny all mining from occurring there. And Jaedong also cleans up the tanks in the middle of the map. Finally, Jaedong also attacking the SCVs over the left side, and he forces the GG out of Flash. Jaedong forces Flash to GG. Unbelievable game. Jaedong was down in supply by about 20 or 30 at one point just a few minutes ago, and unbelievably ends the game with a 3-pronged attack at both mineral fields and at the tanks in the middle of the map. That was one of the best StarCraft Brood War games I've seen in a very, very long time, and that is the reason why I love me some StarCraft Brood War. I hope you guys enjoyed this cast and this game as much as I did. I also want to do a quick shout out not only to the guys on YouTube but also to the guys on Reddit who really enjoyed the current Brood War cast I'm doing. So thank you guys, thank you so much for making it happen and viewing and tuning in. And you know what? As a surprise, my next game also going to be a game with Jaedong and Flash. I'm not too sure if this is from the same tournament or not, but it is another game with Jaedong and Flash. I believe it's from a separate tournament, a separate series. But hey man, another JVF game? Why not? Let's do it. So this is HT signing out to the next game.